Cami J Official. Welcome to my video. It's Cami J Official, so let's start the show. To my subscribers, listen, thank you guys so much for subscribing to my channel. To anyone that is new here, welcome. I do natural hair, beauty, and lifestyle videos. And if you happen to like this video, I hope that you would consider giving it a thumbs up and also consider subscribing to my channel. But let's go ahead and get right into the video. Alright guys, so today is another dark circles focused video. I know a lot of people get on YouTube and say that they have dark circles, but I wanted to show you that I really have dark circles, especially on this side. This is what I call the bad side because the dark circles are very deep and it's a lot of deep hyperpigmentation. So I wanted to show you this to see if the product that I'm going to be reviewing today is really going to be able to help cover these dark circles. So if you are interested to see how well this product performs, what it does, and if it's really going to do well on my dark circles, please stay tuned. So this product is a new color corrector that came out from Nars. This is the packaging. Again, it looks like typical Nars packaging with the black and it's saying Nars in the white. And this is what the actual product packaging looks like. So as you can see, it comes in a nice sleek container. On the side, it says Nars. And what I do like about this is that you are actually able to see the true color of the color corrector on the inside because they've given you those cutout side panels. So I do like that you can see the color there. So the color that I got in this color corrector is medium deep, which is an orange color, and I just wanted to show you what the applicator looks like for this color corrector. It's very thin at the top. Now quickly, I wanted to give you a actual swatch of this color corrector so that way you can see the consistency of the color corrector. So this Nars color corrector retails for $30, and for that $30 you get 0.20 ounces and it comes in 4 colors. So before we start applying anything under our eye, we want to make sure that it's moisturized. So I'm going to be using this CeraVe Eye Repair Cream. I really love to use this under eye cream because it is so hydrating and it is so moisturizing. So I just put 3 little dots under the eye to begin. Listen, if you are not putting moisturizer under your eyes before you color correct and then add concealer, that is probably a big reason why your color corrector and or concealer does not look good under the eye. If you do not moisturize under your eyes, guys, your color corrector and your concealer are going to look very cakey. It's going to look very creasy, and it's honestly not going to blend in as well as you would want it to. So you can see that I'm being very gentle under the eye. I'm using gentle patting motions to just work that moisturizer into everywhere I plan to put color corrector and concealer. You do not want to make your dark circles worse by being really harsh and just irritating the under eye with, really harsh movements. So be gentle and just pat in that moisturizer as best as possible. Now we're going to move on to the actual application of this Nars color corrector. I'm going to be starting with that very little bit, and if you notice, I'm concentrating it on the darkest parts of the hyperpigmentation. If you start with too much color corrector, you are going to look like an Oompa Loompa at the end of the day because it's easier to add makeup than it is to take away. So start slow. So now I'm going to take my concealer blending brush and I am gently going to work that color corrector into the under eye wherever I have hyperpigmentation. If you use this technique, I'm telling you, it's going to be guaranteed to give you a nice smooth finish, whether you use this for color corrector or whether you use this technique to put down your concealer as well, if you like using a brush with your concealer. I like using a brush when it comes to the color corrector because it gives me a nice even distribution of the color corrector and it makes it look very skin-like. So I blended that in, and I just wanted to show you that even though I blended in the color corrector and put a good amount on there, I still see some breakthrough hyperpigmentation. So I don't know about you, but if you've ever put on color corrector, or if you've ever put on concealer, sometimes you can still see a little bit of darkness and or grayness poke through. But we're going to see if we can handle that later. So now for the bridge of my nose, which I do separately, I'm just going to put 2 little dots and blend that in. I typically do this part separately because I do not want to put too much color corrector on and have nowhere to blend it. As I said before, slow and steady wins the race. You want to start small and build up from there. So I'm just going to take my time and blend this into the bridge of the nose to see if this hides this hyperpigmentation. And just continue to gently blend it until you get the desired result that you want to. And this is what we have so far with blending the color corrector under the eye and adding a little bit on the bridge of the nose. I think it did a pretty good job of hiding the hyperpigmentation, but again, on the bridge of my nose, I just wanted to point out that I still see just a little bit of breakthrough darkness on the bridge of my nose. It hasn't really hid the hyperpigmentation completely. Now for here under the eye, after it settled in a little bit, I did notice some more breakthrough grayness and darkness where I put the color corrector, just right there where I'm pointing out. So we're going to see if this color corrector is buildable. And I really wanted to show you guys that because it's important. You need to know if you can actually layer your color corrector and it not look bad. So I'm just taking that little bit there and I'm going to allow it a little bit more time to dry down to see if that helps with allowing it to become a little more opaque and allowing the concealer to conceal it a little bit more. So now that it's dried down, I'm going to take that same blending brush and I'm going to do the same gentle patting motions and begin to blend that color correcting concealer into those areas where I felt that I could see a little bit of the grayness. Now just note, when you use color corrector under the eye, you're not really trying to like conceal every single thing. Your focus is really sure making it to blend it out nice and smooth and that the parts that are very, very dark are covered, so that way you have a nice smooth base for when you actually do apply your concealer. So I'm just going to continue to tap that in as gently as possible, making sure that it's concealed and covered evenly. So I was able to build up the color corrector and I was able to hide that breakthrough grayness a little bit more. Now we're going to move on to the concealer. This is my MAC 24-hour concealer. I am in the color NC50. You can use any full coverage concealer that you like though. You don't have to use this one. So again, starting off small, I'm just going to take one dip of my concealer and I'm going to put the concealer there and lay it down so that way I can begin the process of blending it out. I suggest you use a full coverage concealer because if you really want to cover darkness when you are using a color corrector, full coverage or medium to full coverage is the best way to go. So I just wanted to show you how much of the concealer I applied. Again, just one dip of the concealer and putting it there. So now I'm going to blend out that concealer under my eyes using a damp beauty blender. I emphasize damp because it just works better when the beauty blender is wet. You can try to do this with the dry beauty blender, but I don't think it's going to come out as nice, as smooth, or as natural looking, especially if you're the type of person that likes to use very full coverage concealers under your eyes, because you know you may have a lot more hyperpigmentation than me or a lot more dark circles to cover under the eyes. So just take that damp beauty blender and just begin to work the concealer in wherever you need coverage. As you can see, it really helps the process go a lot faster and a lot smoother, and you're able to get that beautiful skin-like finish, which is another reason why I really also like this matte concealer, because it is full coverage, but the more you blend it in, the more it looks like skin under your eyes, which is what I really like. So I tend to gravitate towards concealers that are more skin-like finish or more dewy finish, but are also considered full coverage. I have tried to use the same technique with matte concealers and it does work out pretty well as well, but I just, you know, more so enjoy the skin-like appearance of using these type of concealers, especially if you're the type of person that doesn't like to wear foundation and all that stuff. Like, you just want to be able to cover your hyperpigmentation and go. Using something that has more of a skin-like finish is definitely going to help you accomplish that, as well as using the damp beauty blender to blend that in. So this is how my under eyes are looking thus far with the combination of the Nars Color Corrector plus a full coverage concealer and using that damp beauty blender technique. But please comment below and let me know how you think this looks thus far just by using the Nars Creamy Concealer Corrector underneath the eyes and then me using that MAC Full Coverage Concealer. How do you think this looks, guys? Is this something that you feel looks good? Let me know, because I definitely want to hear from you in the comments. So after letting it dry down naturally on its own a little bit, I just wanted to point out in the light and in the camera how it looks. So I do still see just a tiny hint of the breakthrough there, but it looks good to me. So now I'm going to use the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder in Honey. This is one of my top favorite setting powders when it comes to covering my dark circles. I really like it because it helps the skin to look very smooth. But now I'm just going to take this e.l.f. brush and begin to blend it in gently under the skin. I just took a little bit on the brush and in gentle patting motions, I'm going to begin to press that into my skin. I do not bake because I have very dry skin and I have very dry under eyes. And if you try to bake and put on concealer and put on color corrector underneath, it can just make your under eyes look really terrible, guys. So I've learned to not bake, but just to lightly set with setting powder. So I'm just going to take my time to do that. And this is what we look like here after we have set it with the setting powder. So everything has settled down, and I just wanted to show you how this was holding up. So I still do see some areas where there is breakthrough darkness under the eyes and on the bridge of the nose, but I quickly wanted to show you a before and after of how it looked, and then after doing all those steps. My final thoughts on this Nars color corrector are: you can save your money. Save your money, guys. You do not need to pay $30 for a color corrector when there are color correctors that are less than half the price, like LA Pro Girl color corrector in the color orange, that do a better job for less. I hope that you enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel and hitting the notification bell so that way you can see even more videos from me in the future. Take care and stay blessed. Bye.